Okay, this one lesson is work problems, and I've got a formula that I like to use for work problems, and I wrote it at the top of your worksheet, but it's kind of hard to read. It says the formula is 1 over t with a small subscript of 1 plus 1 over t with a small subscript of 2 is equal to 1 over t with the little b down at the bottom there. It's not tb, it's t with a tiny, tiny b, subscript b at the bottom. Okay, what these little t's mean is this t with the 1 is the time of the first person doing the work. The t with the little 2 is the time of the second person doing the work. And the t with the b is both of them together. So I'll put over here t with the little 1, first person doing work. T with the little 2 is the second person doing the work. Their time, okay? How long it took them. Okay, and the t with the little b is both working together. Alright, now let's look at the problem. Number 1, we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Working alone, Ryan can dig a hole, dig a 10-foot by 10-foot hole in 5 hours. That's Ryan's time. So I would represent that as a fraction as 1 over 5, because that's the first person. He's Ryan. He did it in 5 hours. I'm going to put plus. The next part of this is, it looks like Estelle can dig the same 10 by 10 foot hole in 6 hours. So now we're going to put 1 over 6, because that's her time. I think it's her time. Here's a boy. Is 6 hours. How long would it take them if they worked together? How long would it take them if they worked together? That's our t, both working together. Okay, I've got my equation set up now. I'm going to do it over here. I'm going to write it so we can show some work. Equals 1 over t for both of them. This is a 6. Alright, don't like fractions, so at this point we're going to clear fractions. I'm going to find a common denominator that I'm going to multiply everything by to clear the fraction. An easy way to do that is you can just multiply the two denominators together. 5 times 6, 30. But don't forget there's also a t at the bottom. So I'm going to multiply this by 30t. I'm going to multiply this one by 30t. And I'm going to multiply this one by 30t. We don't need that little subscript there. All over 1, all over 1, and all over 1. To remind me that I can now cross cancel. 5 will go into 5 once, 5 will go into 30 6 times. So I have 6t right here. Now I'm going to cross cancel. 6 will go into 6 once, 6 will go into 30 5 times. What I have left here is 5t. Then the next part of this is I can cross cancel the t's. They're gone. It's gone from the denominator. So now I've got rid of all my fractions, and what I have left over here is a positive 30. Going back, you're going to put the t's together because they're on the same side of the equal sign. 6 plus 5 is 11t. is equal to 30. Divide by 11, divide by 11. T is equal to, and at this point, I told you can go ahead and use a calculator. So I'm going to get my calculator somewhere in here. And we're going to go, and I'm going to move it out of the way, and we're going to say 30 divided by 11 is equal to 2 point, you can bring it back, 727272, so we're going to round it to 2.73, because it says round to the nearest hundreds. There's our tens, there's our hundreds, and it was 7272, so that's going to make that a 73. So there's my answer. It's going to take them 2.73 hundredths of an hour to work together. So that's number 1. Alright, number 2. Let me pause, I'm going to erase, and then we'll do number 2. Okay, number 2. It says Shauna, I think is her name, can pour a large concrete driveway in 6 hours. Dan can pour the same driveway in 7 hours. How long would it take them if they worked together? So we've got a 6-hour time, we got a 7-hour time, and then it says how long if they go together. So let's set up our equation. 1 over 6 hours, that's 1, plus 1 over 7 hours. How long will it take them 1 together? Find a common denominator. Remember, the easy way to do that is multiply the two denominators together to get 42, but don't forget there's a t down there. So 42t and 42t. We're gonna cross cancel. 6 will go into 6 once, 6 will go into 42 7 times. I have 7t. Cross cancel. 7 will go into 7 once, 7 will go into 42 6 times. I have 6t. The t's will cancel. It's equal to 42. Add these together, we get 13t is equal to 42. Divide by 13, divide by 13. T is going to be equal to, and so now, let's get our calculator one more time, as soon as I can find my cursor. Okay, I'm going to clear the old problem. We're going to go 42 divided by 13. And we get, rounding to the nearest hundredths, it's going to be 3.23. So 3.23 hours. That's number 2. Okay, when I say you can use a calculator, I want you to show me your setup in your work, and then you can use a calculator to do the math part of it. Okay, one more. Okay, now I changed my mind. I think I'm going to do number 5 instead of number 3, okay? Because 5 is a little bit different setup. Alright, so let's go ahead, and I am going to erase my work over here so we can do it together. Alright, let's look at number 5. It says, working together, Paul and Daniel can pick 40 bushels of apples in 4.95 hours. Had he done it alone, it would have taken Daniel 9 hours. The question on this is a little bit different. It says, how long would it take Paul to do it alone? Alright, so it's the same formula though, but now we've just got a little bit different setup. Okay, it says that Paul and Daniel can pick 40 bushels in 4.95 hours. we're going to have as a fraction. That's how much they did together. That's your T with the B. Okay, it says that Daniel, it took him 9 hours. How long is it going to take Paul? And Paul is the unknown. We don't know how long it's going to take him there. So we've got our equation. Again, we want to find a common denominator. Easiest way is to multiply the denominators. So again, I'm going to use my calculator, and I'm going to say 9 times 4.95 is equal to 44.55. So 44.55 T. 44.55 T and 44.55 T. Okay, so that is my common denominator. Now if we take a calculator, and if I took 44.55 and divided that by 9, you should expect to find the 44.95. Okay, and it did. Because now I can cross cancel. 9 will go into 9 once. 9 will go into this 4.95. We still have our T up there. So that's our first part of our equation here without the fraction. If I cancel this, it's just the T's are gone. So we got 44.55. And if I cancel here, I'm going to get 9. Because let me prove it to you with our calculator. Where'd my calculator go? My calculator is, so if I say 44.55 divided by 4.95, I get 9. Okay, so now I have 990. Okay, now we're going to subtract 4.95 T from this side, subtract 4.95 T from this side. So now over here I've got 44.55 is equal to, get my calculator again, and that's why I'm letting you use calculators, because there's quite a bit of work here. I'm not trying to test you to see if you know how to subtract or multiply or divide. I'm seeing if you can set up the problems and apply it correctly. So we've got 4.05 T. Divide that by 4.05. Divide this by 4.05. And I should get my answer. Again, I'm going to get my calculator out. I'm going to clear it. I got 44.55 divided by 4.05. And I got 11 hours it will take the other guy, Paul. Paul should be able to do it in 11 hours. Okay, so I just want to show you that for a little different setup. Remember, use a calculator, it'll save you a lot of time. I don't want you to spend a lot of time doing all the math calculations. I want you to worry about setting it up, clearing the fractions, and solving for the unknown. Alright, that was work problems.